So
It's good, going to be good enough, especially in the city of the future. Let's kick things off here. As immediately we see an aggressive push. Look at him! Immediately goes in vulnerable just to regroup with the rest of the team, and they manage to get the mannequin off at the same time as Barros gets a really good spray. Unfortunately, doesn't find a knock. They instantly get Barros as Dew goes down to Abaye. Sypha takes one into Rans. An aggressive play from RRQ, one which they netted 3 in favor of 2. And now it's just one member left. They take him down. Hand cannons in hand. Oh my goodness. What? How do they get away with this?
I can't believe it worked out. And the best part is that it drew all of AG Global towards runs, and then RRQ just won the fight right after that.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where it's like, if you are the first person to turn the corner, you're going to lose the shotgun battle, especially this early on. But now, okay, here's where it changes, right? Now we're getting double. I'm seeing the Kimbos. I'm seeing micro Uzis coming out from AG's side. I don't know if RRQ decided to buy it, but it looks like they have the armor, so it's still the hand cannons for the time being.
Same modus operandi again. Sypha this time though finds the punish onto Dude, and Mao was able to get Dude in the process. Mao trying to convert it into more, but the numbers will favor AG a bit more this time. Abaye with the shot. Ma'al follows up. Sypha left to his own devices in a 1v2.
Oh, Sypha with the micro Uzi. He's going to try his best, trying to isolate as many fights as possible. But unfortunately, can't get them all. Making sure that all the teammates are dead. RRQ now going to bust on in. Belly and Dash going to come through for Sypha's side. He finds one. This is an opportunity. Abe manages to melee hit in time. You can see Sypha's face. He's like, he got me. He got me. Well played.
I would say that was heroics from Sypha. He almost made that 2v1 work in his favor. He had that frag grenade. It brought Mao down to like literally a sliver of health, and then he just ramboed it with the mini Uzi. But man, if only he hit one more shot onto Abaye, that would have been the clutch. Though, valiant effort though. Abaye able to avoid lead with the sight in hand. 2-0 lead for RRQ.
Big lead here. And now you can see their gear equipment has currently equalized at this point in time. At this point, are they bonusing even one more time? No, they're definitely not bonusing one more time. They've got rifles and they've got shotguns. Ranzi, so aggressive with his usage of side frames. Now, Abe has an isolated fight. Teammates locking him in to pinch out one. Dudes does end up going down anyway, so it's a 3v3 for now.
Yeah, I feel like runs on this Orion. He's acting like a homing missile, right? He's approaching the enemy and then he's giving intel to his teammates and allowing the rest of RRQ to just hunt that one target down. Although this time, it does end up being a 1v1 trade. Runs able to find Barros in the process while still surviving with a sliver of health. AG Global needs an answer to this, but he goes invulnerable against Sypha. Now needs to decide who to gun down, but another outplay from RRQ, and they're up 3-0.
This has got to be frustrating for AG. Every single time they think they have the advantage, they wait a little too long to collapse on the last members, and by then, the actives are back online. It's all about timing, and that's why you see RRQ using Orion so aggressively, like a predator missile, right? You're just targeting, finding as many people as possible. You guarantee can buy yourself at least 2 to 3 seconds, and that 2 to 3 seconds is a key timing for RRQ to take advantage of.
Yeah. And, well, gonna set AG back again in terms of economy. You gotta find an answer to Ranzi, though. I mean, what BRU did was that you sort of boxed the Orion in, but it's a slightly different story when there's literally someone following the Orion towards you. Now, AG, they might try to keep that distance. I mean, the Ignis Wall is a good method, but it's a temporary solution to a character that can literally go invulnerable.
Oh, it looks like Sypha was able to win out his 1v1 against Ma'al, allowing the rest of the teammates to actually move through. Ranzi, oh my god! Already takes out 2 with a shotgun, and finally, he falls down to his knees. Oh, Nameless. Can't do much about it. Sypha just not looking at the right angle, unfortunately, as Ranzi has already done God's work. Sypha able to take down Abe at the very least, turning it into a 2v2. Ooh, boy. Dangerous game both teams are playing.
Funny thing is, he turned invulnerable and then his Siphon got the knock because his teammates was firing from behind. And now a 2v2, Ranzi is very dangerous here because if he does have the enough EP, he can do it all over again, and he does. Tries to seek for the third target, but Sypha from behind with the takedown on the dudes. And now a 2v1, Ranzi is going to get boxed in. does have full health to work with. Dio needs some time. Runze, what's gonna be the plan? Cypher gets forced out on the rescue mission onto Deuce, but foiled by Dio. But still, he's able to start chipping away at the health bars of the AG members, so this is still doable.
Yep, Dude's revival only costed him his life once again. Gets re-knocked down and eliminated this time. Runze, he's just gonna drop on down, finds one! And that's all he will find. Good crossfire from AG, splitting up the angles. You can't catch us if you can't see all of us.
And definitely too close for comfort. Good start from Cypher in the opening flank as well. The Oscar Valiant dash getting put to work, but Runze really has been the star of the match so far.
Oh, he put out 2 huge knockdowns there. Really huge. And even finding the shotgun, right? And carrying it up into this forthcoming round. Let's see whether or not AG is able to find the momentum again, right? 2 shotguns, 2 assault rifles in hand. Oh, even a sniper rifle purchase coming in from Do as well. Really committed to win this round.
Runs it around the corner. That's the Cryo Mine invulnerability, and they're gonna box him in. Try to slice him to bits with the side runs. They still outmaneuvers that, but finds a trade in return, thankfully, as Nameless and Barrows both on the ground. Deuce and Runze for RQ, 2 for 2. As the cavalry arrives by with a Cypher knockdown, and it's down to Dio.
Cypher does get eliminated, so does Barrows. Nameless might be able to get picked up. No, it's too late, Deuce has already gone onto him, and Dio can't do much from that angle. Does find the headshot onto Maal just for funsies. Gonna make a second attempt, doesn't connect. Unfortunately, needs to get rid of that glue wall. Uses his rifle to do so, only spots out feet, but at this point, is there any heals on the side of RRQ? No, they got no heals. Everybody's one-shottable.
Yep, Dio has done this before. We've seen this last time against Fluxo. A 1v4, Cryomai instantly taken care of. Another pickup for RQ. This time, thankfully, RQ, they're all in close proximity of one another, so they can just quadruple up onto Dio and win with sure numbers. Dio, another shot, that one on the shoulder. As the time is running out, so is space. As RRQ slowly creeps towards him.
Yep, he's only got 1 glue wall left. They're controlling the bottom side and the top side, making sure that Dio has no angles. And if they just wait, it's over, right? What can he really do? They swing out, they quickly just pre-fire the angle as many times as possible, even tanking the blue for as long as possible as well. And despite that, somehow, Dio was able to find one knockdown.
Yeah, it was going to take a heroic effort to make that 1v4 work, but if this wasn't like a close compound area, if this was out in the open, I think, and Dio has a lot more space to work with, that would have been possible. Still, valiant effort overall, Dio, you can never count him out.
Jeez, still a deadly sniper here in Clash Squad, but really good for RRQ because now they have a huge point lead against AG for the time being. Once again, it's going to be pretty close quarters here overall. Long angles are going to be taken in huge complexes. However, one complex is significantly better than the other, and AG is going to take the wide open space instead of a straight line shack.
Dio around the corner. Runze should have some intel to work with here. And if they want to breach the front, you can always use his Orion ability.
Oh, look at this pressure.
The glue wall first. Couple of pops in. Nameless loses a bit of health.
They're still pushing and pulling here, and surprisingly, Runze actually wants to get into the middle of this fight. Turns the corner, Dudes, unfortunately, going to get knocked down straight away. A good adaptation here for Nameless, and now the rest of the team is going to start collapsing as Dio on the chase for the last remaining member here in Maal, who is fighting in 1v1 the entire time.
And that is what we want to see from AG Global. They opened the front doors, and RQ came in, instantly dispatched. Basically a shooting gallery here for AG Global. Those glue walls were perfectly positioned, and RQ this time were not in the prime position to provide backup on time. So they ended up getting picked up one by one, and AG Global needed that win to put their finances back on track.
And now that it's equalized just a little bit, you can see that RRQ is still now starting to invest some heavy money into this upcoming round as well. They were able to farm like a decent amount here, but now that the cyber drop fell into the hands of AG, things are going to start equaling out into the next round or so. I will admit, AG, they've adapted well, right? Now that they know what Runze wants to do with this Orion, they're looking for the secondary initiator who will follow up to look for trades.
And they're putting a lot of pressure onto Abai too. And if Abai and Runze are low, then making those moves will be slightly more inconvenient for them. You even see they're continuously pushing towards those two members, and Dew just steps on the gas. Ma'ao also got taken down, just like what we saw earlier on. Abai on the run and gets sniped by Nameless, and Dew can do nothing about it.
Nameless putting some good work in here. Both fronts ended up collapsing for RRQ. AG should be able to clean this up pretty fine. Question is how much damage they can do just to mitigate the number of guns and equipment AG is going to be bringing into the next round.
Yes. See, even one knockdown is going to be good, but sadly just could not make it happen. AG with a clean round to keep everything they have just purchased. Now it's a 3-4, slightly closer. RQ, Kazu, they got off to a pretty strong start, but AG starting to figure out the strat with this Orion.
You can see them slowly adapting, right? They are just adjusting to run Zeye because RRQ seem to be playing the exact same setup every single time. And now that they're taking a slower approach rather than immediately looking to contest, they're just looking out at RRQ's formation overall more than anything else. Because if Baal is busy, then that means that front line's not going to get their sniper support.
It's basically exploiting the fact that Orion, as much as you can make those kind of plays, is still quite a sort of a selfish character by nature, right? Because you do technically take yourself out of the fight, and if you are isolated alone and you put individual highlight moments aside, you actually put yourself at a minor disadvantage. Those ice grenades not really hitting the mark, sadly. So Nameless still gets to roam around freely around these corners.
Again, a lot of nades being thrown between Ranzin as well as Nameless. They're trying to just keep each other in position with these quick bits of artillery at each other. Both snipers have also tried to reposition in their own spots, trying to find more vantage points to keep them in check. And Dudes knows where Dew is going to be, so walking out ain't exactly the best idea, but they still somewhat control the center map compound. And that's the most important part, because that blue is going to do the rest of the work for RRQ.
And there's not really any glue wall destruction from RRQ unless they commit to using the Zane's ability to do so. So that's also something that AG can bank on to make sure that Dew is always able to keep himself safe if he do wish to plant himself on the high ground. But the aggressor seems to be AG Global this time. Instant contact is made. Oh, Dew's dangerous. Slow. The Cryo Mine almost takes him down, but it's still enough. And Cypher instantly just blows through the front line. And now the ranks of RQ dispatched in an instant. AG Global with that equalizer.
Big equalizer as well. Time on and RQ actually getting the first couple of hits in the round. Just unfortunate that one Cypher is in position and they know exactly where they're going to fight. They can take full advantage of the glue walls being set up by RRQ. They can plow right on through it to allow Dew to set up for more of the Cryo Mine, and even with Barros, right, to initiate instantly, throwing out both waves of fire just to get those glue walls out of the way, and whatever is left is going to be minimal resources from RRQ.
I was going to have the AWM in hand. A very standard weaponry, nothing upgraded, sadly. They don't have the funds to do so. A volley of ice grenades being thrown out from both sides. Deuce decides to aggress, but there's the Ignis wall coming. The UAV just got taken down, and Abai going on a long flanking journey, but Ranzi is already down. Barros instantly just pops him.
Huh? How does they what? How does he get away with this? How does Nameless get a 2v1 in the middle of the time burner and still gets the execute over the second trade? What happened there?
That was so fast. Wow!
He exited. Oh my god.
He exited and he just got absolutely destroyed.
That's so wild. That's so wild. How does he get away with that? Was he? That's gonna be so frustrating as well, especially for dudes. Comes into the middle of that fight, he's like trying to shotgun, and he's like, "Wait a minute, it doesn't feel like I'm doing much here."
And the UAV probably didn't ping out like Barros, right? Because Barros was literally watching him come out of the Orion form. That could have been one of the reasons, the lack of intel gatherer, sadly. The AG on that map point now.
Oh, they're gonna take their time here, and Cypher firstly loves. He's doing this 1v1 unless it's gonna be hella wasted. And Cypher does win it out at the very end. The opposite end needs to start fight right into RRQ. They know that they don't have Abe anymore. That just means the next biggest problem is going to be Maal, giving them that support fire.
Man, Cypher actually made the effort to hunt down Abai. And yeah, like you said, that is going to be a pain for RRQ to deal with.
Are they not going to... they're just going to hold it for as long as possible. And Nameless now trying to take advantage, keeping them in. Five turners being dropped one by one. It's a dome fight and a Cypher in hand. He's trying his best to get at least some damage in. Nameless still alive. Cypher with a good headshot of his own, limiting the space of RRQ.
And this should be it for AG Global unless a miracle happens. Ranze, third to fall, and Maal not able to have any sort of impact this round, sadly. With the position that his team was in, AG
to 0 so far in favor of AG. One more win to secure this series, and it already has begun. Ryzen trying to hold his Abe on the low ground. Dew already chasing towards him.
Yeah, so you're right. Dew is on the Morse, and he's gonna lose that fight. Sadly, against Abai, Ranze also wins his 1v1. Cypher with the trade back to sight. Finds the execution quickly. Turns Cypher, finds a second one. And now number 3 is on the menu. Baros helps them out, and the Orion pays off. Pistols for AG.
Okay, this is where Dew calls for just a short moment to readjust his control system. wasn't expecting some resistance on that side, but looks like at the very least there are some protocols for RRQ. It's just unfortunate that they weren't able to really capitalize after Dew went down. At this point, I think that AG getting the early point is going to be great. VSS already purchased for Baros. We'll see the arm, whether they want to invest in armors, which is usually good in these early rounds, helmets as well, considering that at least one person force spot, and that's going to be Mal. He's got the rifle in hand.
Yeah, and RRQ is going to be constantly guessing where this Morse is, because unlike a Morse that wants to flank, this is actually a Morse that goes invisible.
Oh my god.
He's going to do exactly that.
And Nameless, he does at least spot out one, right? But just look at where these fights are going. Both sides are heavy on this flank, and Cypher finally goes down. Dew is able to take out Abe on the opposite side as Maal finishes off Cypher. So again, both flanks made an attempt. Both flanks had varying results, but it's a 3v3 for the time being.
Yeah, the site pulled out, but unfortunately, it doesn't work out for Nameless. Still though, Deuce goes down thanks to Dew. He was undetected because of the Morse ability, so it denies RQ the ability to kind of tag him in the early game at the start of the round. So they never really would know where Dew is, but they still have the man advantage though. It's a 1v2 in favor of RRQ.
Oh, he did use his stealth. He's not going to have it for a little bit. And Dew cannot make the first move, unfortunately, but he's still outside, and RRQ have some pretty good ideas of where he is going to be. And Dew, unfortunately, he's not getting any opportunities. He's seeing the tips of heads of people, but he knows that he doesn't actually have the angle on this slope. He's going to drop that down quickly with a glue wall. His last glue wall, in a matter of fact, gets deployed before he ends.
Would have been nice if his ability came back up, but unfortunately, there just was not enough time for that to happen. Nameless here as well. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get the knockdown before he got shot by RRQ. Valiant effort though. I just respect I do see the idea from AG Global with this dual Morse. It does basically put him in the shadow at the start of the round, but the way that they're using the Orion is definitely slightly different from what RQ did in the previous game.
I think they also have to recognize that there's not a lot of information gatherers from the side of RRQ, right? So he doesn't necessarily have to use it right off the rip, unless that maybe there's like UAVs or something like that. He can actually walk up to the rest of the team and then halfway through the map go invisible to try and look for those opportunities. For the time being, Maal still trying to control as many angles as possible, knows that Cypher is trying to make an attempt on his life, but you can see that a majority of the RRQ players just holding back, waiting for that first attack. What? And Baros finds one in Abe, and Baros is going to start walking on in to find the second one into Ranze. That's 2 immediately down for the side of RRQ.
They had no idea what hit him. Dew is in the guard tower against Dew, but once that hit pops up, Dew is going to be ready to take the shot as reinforcements gets called in. Maal is going to get rushed. Nameless absolutely tears him to shreds as Deuce gets finished off 2. AG Global takes the lead 2-1.
Yep, in bad position to be caught out against the SMG when you're holding onto a rifle in close quarters. That rate of fire is just something else right now. And as you can see, AG is still very comfortable with the way that they're playing so far. But now it's Santa Catarina. North side going to be taken over by AG, south side by RRQ. We've seen this before many, many times. But I think with AG, now that the fact that they have that Morse, you can do so much on this particularly unfair map.
Yeah. The one with the highest frag right now with KD of 3 and 2. But Deuce is going to stay behind this time. As Duo goes on exploration, Cypher taking so much damage. We have to use all of his power. Turns around, what? How did Cypher get that? Even finishes off a buy and slips into the shadow. Barros just comes in as a tag team and finds Runze. Now they turn the corner and get Ma'al.
They are running a tight ship right now. That was disgusting. That was supposed to be the breaking point for RRQ, and now Dudes has to deal with 4 members as he's getting peppered from every single side. We got to see that one more time. I'm pretty sure he had some help, right? It wasn't just all one man. Oh, no, I guess it's just Cypher things.
13 health. 13 health and a dream. I can't believe he not only got the knock, but he was able to finish off that player before he ran away. There's some insane prowess from the AG players.
Crazy pre-fire. Crazy pre-fire that was. All right, let's see whether AG is going to do it again. Now that they've already secured themselves in the previous round, the previous 2 rounds, the drops in each time. They're going to do it now on the southern side. Now, keep your eyes on Dude because he's the one who wants to go invisible here. And he went through the middle in the previous round. He's going to do it again to make sure that he has full control over this side. But unfortunately, it's going to be the top hall. And he already blows off one head. Already down. RRQ need to get his boys back up in fighting shape now rather than later.
That was so fast. RRQ were not ready for that. They were able to get the pickup, but still, Deuce ends up getting knocked down. Cypher gets the finisher, and it all just falls apart. Abai and Ma'al sticking side by side. Barros comes in for a different angle. There really isn't anything that RRQ could have done more.
Oh, that's difficult. That was really, really difficult. It's just one of those angles you're not expecting, especially since RRQ were the ones who were able to get that high ground early on in the round. It's just something they weren't paying attention because Morse can go invisible, right? And now once they took out Dudes, their anchor was gone. And at that point, there was no coming back for RRQ. But here in round number 5, they might have some hope.
Yeah, Refinery are RRQ's best spots when it comes to both Clash Squad and Battle Royale. I want to see how Dude navigates this with the Morse, right? Because it's definitely slightly different. It's not like you have a lot of open ground to work with, and even if there is, you generally don't want to go down to the low ground. So Dude actually cuts the corner right to the back of the RRQ lineup. Do they not see him?
No. Oh, okay. They finally found him, but then Runze, he gets taken out by Cypher. Do we see the trade, Dudes? Goes down by Nameless. Ma'al's able to find one in Dew at the bare minimum here, turning this at least into a 2v3 scenario. It's still a little tough to say here because now with the time turner's already gone, and not to mention we've got Nameless being an absolute menace here in those back lines with Abe having to fight this 1v1 by the time turner against Barros. Fortunately, it turns into a 2v1 very quickly, and now Ma'al is all by himself, gets taken out.
And that's going to be series point for AG Global. 5-1 scoreline so far on Kalahari. And it was a good start, right? They sniffed out Dew, but the rest of the gunfights were not in their favor at all. AG Global, I mean, Cypher and Barros, these two, and then you just cannot get enough of how clean they make it look. I mean, Cypher and Barros both have a KD of 7 and 1.
They both have crazy KDAs at this stage of the game. And I think, you know what's worse at this point is the fact that you can see that RRQ aren't taking as much space as they usually do because of this Morse. But this time, it looks like they're spreading out way differently compared to before, right? I'm guessing that's Dude who's sitting all the way... no, that's probably Ma'al. At this point, you see that Dude trying to take the space, but Dude's now holding on to the center for as long as he possibly can here. It's a dangerous spot to be in, especially with no help, and knowing that Ma'al is now getting pressured in by Cypher with a P90 in hand. He's got no support except for his front lines, and slowly they'll start whittling away.
The ice grenade earlier on also did a lot of work. That's already 2 down from the side of RRQ. Make that number 3. Abaye is down, and Nameless is just gonna siphon the health of Ranzi. That's gonna be game over for RRQ. Kazu